Hi there. You're muted. Oh no. Here we go. Oh, right. Let's fight.
No, that's not.
Yes, no.
No, let's not.
How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I am doing really good. I'm excited. I need to do one thing before I forget, though, which is pull up this presentation I'm going to do before I forget. Right. There we go. Okay, I feel better now. I like to get on here because you never know who's going to be just waiting around for you, and so I hate making people wait.
Me. Just me waiting.
Yes. So anyway, so what did you do today? How did your day go?
Oh my God. I've done nothing but research. And then I started posting a few things on the group.
I saw that.
And then I was Googling certified divorce real estate specialists. I just thought, you know,
Right.
and I found a webpage that actually can certify you.
Oh
It's a
wow.
training course. It's a training course. It's 3 days, 3 hours each, so 9 hour class. And on their web, it's called sellthishouse.com or sellthishome.com, one of the two. And she is a lawyer and a realtor and whatnot. So you can look up by state who is, if there's a certified person there, a certified realtor. And I looked, of course, Michigan, and I found there's 4 in Michigan, and I called one of them that is in an area that is pretty far away from it. They're all far away from me, and he's the closest from the far away ones. So I chatted with him for maybe half an hour, asking him, is it worth the investment? Because it's $550, right?
Okay.
And I said, did you get anything out of it other than, common sense, what you're doing for years already anyhow? And he said, well, yes and no. He said, it is good to know a couple of things as far as financials and title that you don't necessarily know unless you're working with a lot of divorcees and you're involved in the transaction. He's a pretty big agent. And he said, I usually only, let the title company do their stuff and the lender their stuff. So he said, I didn't know these things. But he said, what they also teach you is how to get into contact with with attorneys.
Okay. Okay.
And once you learn how to give them something, they give back. And he said he gets every other week, he gets between 10 and 20 addresses where he does free BPOs for him
Okay.
because they need to know the value of the couple that they're divorcing. And he said out of the 10 to 20, he gets an average of 3 to 5 listings.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, then you can knock it. That's better than bold leads.
Exactly. Exactly. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'll sign up for that tomorrow. And you can use the accreditation on your, I asked him if he advertises it, and he said no, because he's busy. He does that just kind of like, it comes on the side. He never did anything, but he said the market is definitely asking for it. I'm like, yes.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, that's awesome. That makes me so happy to hear it. I'm loving how excited you are. Like I feel like you found a path that like talks to you, speaks to you.
I found something to do. I found a direction, instead of just being everywhere. Um, I like that. I like your thought process of, grab one thing and try it out and see instead of being everywhere. So
Exactly.
cool. I like it.
Awesome. Well, that makes me very happy.
Me too.
Awesome. All right. Well, hi, Gina. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I am good.
Awesome.
Nice to see you.
Yes, you too. Nice to see you. Feel free to stay on with us. We'll you don't have to
Okay.
you don't have to if you don't want, but
No, these days you feel like you should be in full makeup, but these days now it's like just cool to be yourself, which is great.
Exactly. I feel as though it's a come as you are sort of an event.
Perfect.
I came in my little
Perfect.
house coat and everything, not a robe, like, my little one I wear around the house. So
Right, right, right.
so okay, well, I let's give it just a couple minutes just because there were so many people who, registered and everything, and I'll give them a couple minutes. So, I guess Gina, since I've never met you before, why don't you tell
Mhm.
me a little about yourself?
I will. I'm actually just starting in real estate, but it was always my plan B. I've been in retail and wholesale and financial and design planning for 30 plus years with Macy's. And then I
Okay.
worked at Donna Karen, running a division for them. So the sales part, whether it's strategy or apparel, I have down, and all the rest of it will be new, but it's always been my plan. I'm so excited. I can't, I'm like, I can't even stand myself. I'm
Oh,
doing my social media now, but of course I can't do the listings yet because my license is literally just getting registered with the state. So I'm just trying to post all kinds of like good stuff that's not house specific.
okay.
So
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, hopefully you'll get some, good takeaways and, some ideas and everything. And, um, I mean, I hope I give you lots of good stuff.
I'm sure you will. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I see that more people are joining us. So I'm going to go ahead and get started sharing my screen. And welcome to everyone who's joining us. Okay. So I'll probably do some switching around. Can you guys see like on the side of my screen, like where I have you guys positioned, or is it just for you guys?
It depends on if we have to manipulate our screen so we can just see you or we can see other people.
Okay, I just don't want it to be in the way of anyone. So okay,
Yeah.
I will close mine off probably in a few minutes. So okay. Well, so this is lead generation for realtors, and basically I'm Corey Perez. So nice to meet you guys. And let's get started. Okay, so we'll start off with who is this training for? This is for you if you've been overwhelmed, stuck, anxious, confused, or stressed out. If you are thinking that you'd like to think outside of the box a little bit and kind of get outside of what everyone else is doing and do something a little different. This is for you if you don't want to be known as a pushy salesperson. You want people coming to you asking you for your help. If you're tired of old school strategies that have you chasing leads, and if you want to work on your schedule and you want lead generation to be easy. Okay. Now I'm going to close everyone out so I can see. Okay. So what you'll learn today is you'll be able to determine which marketing strategies you want to employ in your business. Not all of the strategies that are out there are for everyone. And me specifically, I feel as though there are some that I guess I've had a lot of anxiety and stuff over the years. And so for me, it's very easy to sometimes hide. And so there are certain aspects that I don't like to do. And I know that there are other people who are kind of introverts and that sort of thing and don't necessarily like feeling like they're chasing people. And so some of these things, are things that I wouldn't necessarily do in my business, but I know some of you will. So okay, so you'll learn how to offer your services in a way that makes leads flock to you, and you'll get clarity on what steps to take next to get your business up and running quickly. Okay, so who is this training not for? This is not for you if you like working hard to get each and every lead, if you want to spend the majority of your time on lead generation. Of course, if you want to do what everyone else is doing, if you don't want to try new ideas, if you're not good with providing value, if you're looking for an overnight success plan, or you just want to figure it all out on your own, this is not the place for you. Okay, so a little bit about me. I am a mom of four. I've been married for 19 years to my husband, Carlos. Um, I was first licensed as an agent back in 2002, and I started training other agents in the offices that I was in about 2005. And then I learned about reverse prospecting, which is what I'm going to talk to you guys about tonight. Um, anyway, in 2005 as well. And then in 2008, I opened my own real estate brokerage, and it was not the best time market wise, but at that time my husband had just gotten hurt at work and I had a brand new baby at home, and it was kind of like I couldn't leave the baby and the husband alone together. So my business moved to a home office, and I started my own brokerage. And then eventually I started adding other agents and stuff to it as well. Okay, so I've also have my bachelor's and my master's in business administration, and I'm a real estate coach, and I love to help other realtors attract leads using reverse prospecting and many other methods without spending money on ads or chasing leads. Okay, and here's some pictures of my family, just so you guys can see
Aw.
us. All right, so we love to visit national parks and to travel pretty much anywhere. We're huge Seattle Seahawks fans. We go rock hounding. We oftentimes have photography contests amongst ourselves, and we love spending time in the mountains and at the beach. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to start with the traditional prospects of real estate prospecting. Traditional prospecting methods is really what I was trying to say. Anyway, okay. So we have, the regular things: cold calling, door knocking, pop buys, sphere of influence, farming, expireds, for sale by owners. I'm sure there are more, but those are, kind of the typical ones. All right, so we'll kind of go through them a little bit and basically, just talk about them. So if you're not familiar, cold calling is basically where you pick a person that you don't know, you call them out of the blue to determine if they're interested in buying or selling real estate. And then if not, do they know anyone who is? And this is, of course, if they answer and providing they don't hang up on you or get angry with you. Door knocking is very similar. It's when you pick a neighborhood and randomly stop by, knock on their door, and see if they're interested in buying or selling, if they know anyone who does, that sort of thing. And, in this climate, in this right now with COVID, it's not everyone looks fondly upon people knocking on their door right now. So it's kind of similar with pop buys. Pop buys are when you pick a neighborhood and you stop by with gifts like seeds, recipes, other inexpensive things. I've seen people, show up with flags on like 4th of July and, walk up and down the road putting flags in everyone's yard. A lot of times this is really good for past clients. They love, to see you again, and we love to make sure they remember us. This is also really good to ask for referrals. It's a method of keeping you top of mind in the neighborhood, and it's more of a long-term marketing strategy. Okay. And of course, we all know about our sphere of influence, the people friends, family, coworkers, pretty much everyone you know. And this is one of the things that every single broker will tell you to do, is to reach out to your sphere of influence and let them all know that you're in real estate. This can be really effective. And a lot of times, especially as new agents, we have people in our sphere of influence who are ready right now to buy or sell. And so it can be very effective to reach out to them and let them know. The flip side of that is sometimes, in my experience, probably almost every single time, it is the hardest transaction you're going to do. It is not necessarily fun working with friends and family because they don't always want you to know their personal financial details. They, may not necessarily be loyal, and that can really hurt people's feelings as well. And that's just no fun. Okay, so farming. This is when you choose a neighborhood to focus on and market to. And most of the time that consists of, postcards, letters, door knocking, this sort of thing. And it can be effective. It is, again, a long-term marketing effort, and it will not likely get you leads on your first attempt unless you're pretty creative and, give them a reason to call you. Okay, and then there's cold calling expireds. This is when you go through the MLS looking for properties that did not sell when they were first listed and then they expired. A lot of realtors will be reaching out to them. The sellers have likely been bombarded and may not be super friendly. It can result in listings. However, the sellers have already expired, so they may not be reasonable. It did expire after all. There may be an issue with the property, or it could be the seller themselves having some sort of an issue. Okay, and then for sale by owners are very similar. A lot of realtors are going to be reaching out to them. They may not always be super friendly because of that, but at the same time, sometimes they're so sick of hearing from realtors. They're like, okay, fine, just list my house. let's get this thing sold. But a lot of times they're trying to save money and they think that it's easy. Okay, so what do all of these methods have in common? Can anyone guess?
They're so hard.
That's true too.
What everybody else does.
So I feel like
All right.
these are all methods that we're kind of chasing our leads and our prospects in a way, and basically what's wrong with chasing people? For me, I normally, when I have someone come up to me and approach me that's a salesperson, like in a store or something, I mean, what do you normally say? You just say, I'm just looking, right? Like always, just like leave me alone. Come back to me when I ask you to, kind of thing. So this is because we don't want to be bothered by a salesperson until we're ready to ask a question.
Right.
And so that's why we want to bring people to us and have them come to us basically saying, I want to know more about what you're saying, what you're offering, what you're doing. Okay, so how do you want to be known? I have a guess, but do you want to be known as a pushy salesperson or more as a knowledgeable professional? And I'm assuming it would be the second one. So how do you become known as a knowledgeable professional when you're just starting out? You need to be sharing value with your audience, okay? You need to be telling them what they need to know in order to make the decision to do the thing that they're trying to do, okay? You need to do it in a way that has people reaching out to you. And that's what we've been working on all week, is building up to tomorrow, where we are going to create our ads, our posts, so that we can go out and use them. Okay, so this is where reverse prospecting comes in, okay? So reverse prospecting is a marketing and lead generation strategy. With this strategy, you kind of shift your mindset and you relearn marketing in a different way, because we're not trying to chase people, we're trying to attract them to us. And we want to do it organically, which means that we don't need to be paying for ads. We don't need to be, doing any of those things, because they're going to be coming to us. And the way that we do that is basically by offering value, by teaching them the things that they need to know, in basically in a way that makes them just say, I want what you're offering. Tell me more now. Okay, so in order to use reverse prospecting, you need to know the things that we've been going over this week already. You need to know who your ideal clients are. You need to know what your ideal client's problem is, and you need a solution to their problem. Okay. So obviously we've already worked on who your ideal clients are, but not everyone maybe has come up with who their ideal clients are. So it's important to identify who your ideal clients are so that you can figure out how to communicate with them effectively. The more you know about who your ideal clients are, the clearer your message will be and the easier it will be for them to understand that you're talking directly to them. Okay, and their problem, it's important to identify that so you can figure out how to communicate with them effectively. The more you know about their problem, the easier it will be to solve. Okay, and then the solution. Once you identify the problem, you need to solve the problem. The solution doesn't need to be complicated. The purpose of solving their problem is to make them see you as the professional who can help them. After all, you are what you're selling. Just everything about you is what they are going to be getting. So the solution that you offer is designed to be juicy and make people want what you're offering them. Okay, so now we're going to look at some examples. Okay, so I love helping investors. So one of the things that I like to do, is, well, I give examples of investors because of that. So anyway, let's say that your ideal clients are investors looking to flip a home. What would you think that their problem might be? I'll let you guys answer if you have any guesses.
Well, I mean, money, they need to flip and keep the money rolling so they can then develop their new property.
Right, right. That's an awesome one. Yes. And so sometimes they need, to know more, like sometimes they need to have that next property also. We may not necessarily be able to help them right off the bat with, keeping the money rolling, and that might be on them a little bit more. But my takeaway is that they are probably needing more properties. That's the part that we can help with. Of course, we can give them information on financing and some of those different options that we can get, different lenders involved, hard money lenders or whatever, and give them information on that so that they can use that to, as a resource. But a lot of times they're wanting to know about the next property. They want to see where it's going to come from. They want to know about foreclosures. A lot of times my investors will ask me about pre-foreclosures. They call me up and ask me, "Have you seen this one? Tell me about it." Like, what do you know? What can you tell me? And they want to know about fixer uppers and stuff like that as well. And so the solution, or one of the solutions that I offer, is I will just simply say, do you want a free list of foreclosures? I'll go in a little more in detail, offering them, a list updated every day or weekly, or, the second a new house comes on the market or whatever. Um, you can also offer them help finding pre-foreclosures. And there's always, you can get help from title companies, and they can give you, I don't know where they get the lists exactly, but they know that some of these are rentals and they have lists with the homeowner's info and whatnot. And if you have specific properties, you can use RPR to get that information as well. Do you guys all have RPR?
What is RPR?
Okay, RPR is a free resource for realtors. It's called Realtor Property Resource. It's free to everyone. So go to rpr.com, I believe it is. And basically it'll ask for your NERDS number, the NRDS number. And you will enter that, and I think it'll have you, create an account basically. But when you go in there, it gives you everything that you would normally get from like your county GIS or whatever, but it'll give you owner's address where you can, send them something if they're not living at the property. it'll talk to you, it'll show you, you know, the mortgage, when it was sold last, all that sort of stuff, if they've refinanced or, you know, different things like that. But it'll give you a lot of information that you can use. It'll let you know if they are, a lot of times it'll say something along the lines of pre-foreclosure or something like that on there as well. So it can definitely be a good resource. Okay, so as far as helping sellers, basically we'll look at what their problems are. A seller may be thinking that they need to know about the most cost-effective renovations to boost their resale value. They might want to know how to price their home. They may want to know when to start packing or how to stage their home, you know, what things they should know ahead of time. There's a ton of things that we can provide them up front. So a solution for them is, you know, we could offer them a free list of repairs to sell for top dollar, or a moving checklist, you know, when to start doing this, that, and the other, or information on staging their home. But basically, we can do all of these things in a way that we're offering it out in the public. You know, we can go, let's say, into a Facebook group and say, okay, you know, I have this free list of whatever, you know, renovations. If you're thinking about selling your house, you know, you may want this. And they will come to us and say, basically, I want that information. Okay. So first-time home buyers are kind of another passion of mine. And so a lot of times with first-time home buyers, we'll see, you know, the credit problem, the not enough money for down payment, or don't know about closing costs. And a lot of times they don't know where to start. So solutions, you could talk to them about down payment assistance programs. You can talk to them about credit, minimum credit scores to be able to buy a home, or to get pre-qualified rather, or pre-approved. You can offer to help them through each step. This is one that I've used myself, like an actual, I guess, call it an ad, but it's not an ad because I don't pay for it and I don't know. So I'll call it a post. This is a post that I've used, but basically just thinking about buying a home, find out the 13 extra costs that you need to be aware of before buying a home. Don't be surprised by extra costs. DM me for more information. And then from there, I would talk to them. You know, I would get an email address or something so that I could email them the actual cost sheet that I prepared. And then basically I will talk to them some more, find out where they are in the process, you know, kind of what they need to know, what they feel like, you know, they need to know. Sorry guys, I'm just seeing that there's a chat. Or chats coming in. Okay. So yes, the question is, where do I post this? And is this something that I would post on Facebook? And basically, yes, I would, for me personally, I would probably go into my Facebook group that I have for first-time home buyers, for sellers, and I would put this in there. I would go into other Facebook groups, buy, sell, trade groups, and places like that. And I would put information out there as well. And then I would invite them back to my group for more, you know, information, more knowledge, all of that sort of stuff. Okay. Does this, like, having an example like this, does this kind of help you see?
Yes.
Okay, good, good. Okay. Do you guys have any questions on this?
Corey, do you find a group better than a page?
I do. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I love groups. The one thing that I found about pages is they really are more pay to play. You know, they want you to pay to for people to see anything. And so I I prefer groups. I have my Facebook page and I'll tag myself in it, or, check in at my place and that sort of thing. I'll post from Instagram to my page, that sort of thing. But I don't get hardly anything at all from my page itself. My group, I can do the bare minimum and get people coming out of there all the time asking me for my help, which is okay. Saying that I can do the bare minimum is not the best thing to say, but it is the truth. I mean, you go in there and you teach them how to do the things they want to do and show them what it's going to take to make this goal, become a reality. And quite frankly, they're intrigued. I mean, a lot of times they don't know what it is they don't know, and they don't know how easy it actually is to get pre-approved, especially,
How
oh, sorry,
how
go ahead.
did you start your group? Like, how did you get, I have groups for other things.
Uh-huh.
So I understand the group premise, but how did you get people in your group for real estate?
Where did I start?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know how to better ask that.
Right. No worries. No worries. So, initially I started by inviting my sphere of influence. Okay. But that was kind of a let's get people in this group just so I can get it going. Then I started inviting people from buy sell trade groups who I would start, talking with and having these conversations with because of the posts that I was putting out. And basically, people would start to come back to my group, and it just kind of just started growing on its own also, because people they would see my posts, and then they would invite someone into the group because they would want that person to know more, about buying a home or this or that or whatever. I also did a giveaway at one point, and I did I think it was a $25 gift card, and I basically said, whoever invites, it was invites, and how did I word it? It was basically whoever has the most people that they invited join, like the most new members actually come from those invitations, not just invitations sent out. And that person won. And so that was good, to grow. Go ahead,
So
Gina.
can I ask you a question? So you have your Instagram page, you have your Facebook page, they could be business or personal, whatever. And then you're saying to also create a Facebook group page that would be, for lack of a better word, Gina Cabot Real Estate, which is kind of what my other two pages are. And then on that page, try to get other people from other groups, like I'm making up a story, contractors of Long Beach Island or whatever. So I should have three things: my Facebook, my Insta, and a Facebook group.
Let me make it simple for you. Don't overwhelm yourself. Okay. Like, honestly, okay, I have a Facebook page. Just
Like, I don't do any personal Facebook anymore. Like, anytime my name is out there now, there's a house next to my face. Like, that's it. I don't do any, I talk to people who are my personal people if I want to tell them something. I don't do anything on social media that is not completely 100% real estate,
Okay. So what I would say then is, on your not personal, but your page itself,
Right.
there, I say to have it because it kind of establishes you as a business person.
Right.
So to have that, and to have it set up, and in case someone does come from that, I mean, it's great to have. I have a ton of followers on it, but it just isn't where my business comes from. And so, I have it, I want to say almost like as a vanity thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's there, but it's not really for anything. At least that's how I look at it in my business.
Okay.
for my Facebook group, that is where, like, I feel like it's kind of creating my own pond, of clients, potential clients, prospects. It's a pond that technically I could go fishing in at any time and, pull people out of and
Okay.
help them.
I figured that was the business page, but okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Corey,
Uh-huh.
do you do things that are niche down to like a neighborhood or things going on in different neighborhoods to become like an expert on those neighborhoods, or do you not niche down that far?
I would say that you definitely could.
Okay.
I myself, like, I love first time home buyers and
Mhm.
foreclosures, and those are kind of my two, like, go-to things when I'm, getting leads or anything like that. That's the way I'm going. Um, I would say, if you're thinking like a specific neighborhood, that sort of thing, then I would create a group for that neighborhood
Okay.
and, tell them about events going on, tell them about interesting things, all of those sorts of things, and invite them in and invite them to invite their neighbors in, and have it be a place, where you can start it as a community, but then you can also show them what you can do and how you can help them.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, so I am going to um I guess move on a little bit. So basically what's next, as I've kind of already explained, there's a little more than just posting it on social media. I want you guys to kind of understand where to post it to get the best results, and to know what you'll send them, what costs they need to know about if you were using that last post, like if you were to just take it and use it. Sorry, there's more in the chat. Okay, Shelly is saying that this is really being done over 100 times in her sphere, that she has kids ranging from college to elementary and use Facebook is overplayed in her region, and that she would love other ideas. Okay, I'm gonna say that you absolutely can go any route that you want. Like, if you feel comfortable with Instagram or TikTok, or even, the new things like Clubhouse, I would say do find a spot where you feel comfortable. Find what works for you. Like, if you are great on Instagram, then go to Instagram and use that. Me myself, I I most of the time use Instagram for, like, I mean, it's, for me, it's pictures and quotes and, different things. I use it more as an inspiration place for myself. So, I'm not doing a lot of real estate stuff on Instagram. Um, and I definitely feel as though there are so many people who are on Facebook still, that this is definitely a platform that you can use. And even if everyone else, like, let's say there are 5 people in your neighborhood and they're all agents, they're not you. And they are not going to offer the same service that you're going to offer. And you, as a person, can show up differently for them than the way other people will. And so they'll resonate with you differently. So I would say that there is still that opportunity to be out there and be in front of them and do yourself, be yourself in front of them. And they're going to want to work with you more when you're yourself, when you show them your personality and who you are and what you're about. That's just my take on it, though. Okay. So I do have a copy of the 13 costs that I use to send out to people. And basically I will send that, if anyone has the desire to book a strategy session, to talk more, to go into more detail on these things, and for me to help you kind of create a path for yourself. Basically, on the strategy call afterwards, I'll send you the 13 costs to be aware of, and you can just take that and use it anywhere you want. I will send you one just because you're already my client, and so you get one. All right. Okay, so I have time for questions if you guys, have any. And definitely, I would love to let you guys know, as far as strategy sessions go, basically what I do on those is I talk to you about your goals. I talk to you about kind of your struggles and where you're trying to take your business. And then from there, I will help you kind of figure out a path to take and a strategy to move forward. And anyway, so that's that. So what questions can I answer for you guys that I haven't already answered? Or if you need more. Okay, I have a chat. Let's see. I don't have any like templates that I use, honestly. Oh, that's a really great question. When I do this, there are times, so I like to test things. And when I go out, sometimes like in Facebook groups or something, and I post something in there, sometimes I will just do it with just plain text, nothing fancy, no attention grabbers, just my text. And that will get a lot of results. Sometimes some of the posts that I do, there's one particular post that I used to do prior to COVID, when the credit score was like a minimum credit score was a 580 at some of my lenders. And basically I would put out this post and I would get 100 people responding to this post. And there were a lot of people who needed help with credit. There were a lot of different challenges that you come up with, in dealing with that many people, but you would still get people who were able to qualify and get pre-approved. And so those posts I did just blank, no pictures, no nothing except for words. Other times I have gone out and I have put, a picture and like, oh, I'm thinking about this or that or whatever, and I'll get a lot of people to respond. But it just kind of depends on where you are, like what, not platform, but what area you're in. If you're in your Facebook group, then the people are probably going to be looking at you all the time, seeing you post, so they're going to be used to seeing a picture or whatever. But when you're in someone else's Facebook group, like a buy sell trade group or something like that, it would be better to just do just a simple little post, just something to grab their attention and get them talking to you. Okay. Anyone else? No, nothing?
No, you answered a lot of questions. Thank you.
Okay, good. That's what I like to hear, because, sometimes I talk a lot and
No, it's kind of good to really try to structure who you're after. I think that I have two different groups that I'm after. So, and they're like probably the opposite, ends of the spectrum, but it gave me some ideas on how to structure the marketing.
Well, and I would say that it's really great. You can have two different target audiences, two different sets of ideal clients, but the biggest thing is just to make sure that you're not trying to talk to them all at once.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that will be huge, because I think there are so many agents out there who are like, basically, buy or sell, call me today, and it's like, but why would I do that?
Right.
You're not
Right.
giving me a reason to reach out to you. And
Right.
so that's really what we want to do, is give them a reason to reach out to us.
Right. I didn't really think about posting in groups that are away from me. I'm at a beach area. So one of my groups is people in the northern part of the state buying vacation homes, or particularly could be relocating now that everyone is working from home and you don't have to go into, the city. So to post myself on community things up there is something that I think I probably should be doing.
Okay, awesome. So
I
I
think.
love it. I think that that's a good idea, and giving
Right.
them information that they can use to make that decision.
Right. Right.
So I think that that's great. All right. Anyone else? I always feel so silly at the end. Like I am just like sitting here and I am just like, okay, guys.
No, it was really good. I'm going to sign off. I have to go walk my dog.
Oh, no worries. That's awesome. All right.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Nice to meet
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Thank you too. Bye-bye.
See you soon, Corey.
All right. Sounds good. Everyone have a good evening. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.